What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So I'm out here in the shop this morning. We've got some tires to mount. I've got them laid over here in the floor. Bought these a couple weeks ago. Found them on sale, ordered them. Anyway, got to get them put on. Just got 2 of them. I actually need 4 of them. So I'm going to put these on. I'm going to order 2 more. And I've got 150,000 miles on the tires on the new flatbed that I bought. I've replaced 2 of them. I had one, I ran over something, didn't know it. When I got to the place I was delivering to, I realized I had a flat when I was, walking around my truck and everything, rolling my straps up. It was on the inside tire, and I usually bump my tires and stuff when I'm getting loaded, unloaded, that sort of stuff. Anyway, realized I had a flat tire, found the leak, and I plugged the hole in it. I keep a plug kit in my truck, and so I plugged the hole in it and went to airing it up. And I got one of those air hoses that sticks on and you can back up away from it or whatever. Anyway, I'd backed up away from it and letting it air up there a little bit, and it wasn't full of air yet. But anyway, the thing blew out as it was airing up. So evidently I run it flat, a good little distance to weaken the sidewall. And it was almost time for replacement anyway, so that wasn't a big deal. So anyway, I replaced it and the one beside it with 2 steer tires that I had that I'd pulled off that wasn't good enough for steers any longer. And that was probably been about 10,000 miles ago, 10 or 12,000 miles ago, something like that. So other than those 2 tires, the other 6 tires on the trailer have 150,000 miles on them. So we're replacing 2 more of them. And the front axle, I've never rotated the tires from front to back, but the front axle is still pretty good. I expect to get another probably 15 or 20,000 miles out of those. They're wearing a little bit funny, irregular, but they still have pretty good tread on them. And I may actually get more than that out of them. I'm pretty happy overall being a spread axle trailer with the mileage I'm getting out of the tires. That's more than I got out of my other trailer. My other trailer, I'd usually start having to replace them about 110,000. And by 130, 140,000, I had to replace all of them. So by having to start replacing these at 140, 150, I should get, 170, maybe 180. I'm not sure. But anyway, got to move this old Ford tractor out of the way here so I can get back in the shop door, and we'll get the trailer jacked up. I believe I got enough room here behind this tractor. I can just back in the door here and jack the trailer up. It's empty and everything. We're going to snatch off, I'm actually going to snatch off all 4 tires off the rear axle. I've got one on the inside, one of those steer tires I put on that's getting pretty bad. So I'm going to match the 2 new ones up on one side and put the best 2 on the other side of the used ones. Anyway, let's crank the old Ford up here, get it moved out the way. So I think what I'm going to do is replace this outer one, keep this inner one, take the outer from the other side, put where this one's at to match this one, and then put the 2 new ones on the other side. This tire here is actually still decent, other than the outside here. They wear kind of funny, and it's getting thin and tearing some chunks out of it here, as you can see. So I'm going to go ahead and replace that one, I believe. And then the one on the inside over here was a used steer tire that I put on. And it's actually still pretty decent, except for one spot on the inside here. It's kind of whopped out. So I think we will put this one here on the outside to match that other one. I'm going to order 2 more because this one needs to be replaced shortly as well. The other 2 need to be replaced shortly as well, but it'll still pass. So I'm just going to use my 3/4 Milwaukee to pull these off with, and I'm trying to get this done before it gets too hot. It gets really hot out here really quick. I've got about a 3-hour window here. It's 7 o'clock in the morning right now. And I need to get this done with a couple of hours and do whatever else I'm gonna do out here, because much after 10 o'clock, it gets so hot out here that you can't hardly stay out here during the summer. So anyway, we'll snatch these off. It shouldn't take maybe an hour to put these 2 tires on here. I've got a 1-inch air pick for those of you who says I need one. I do have one, but I just don't find it necessary, and it's big and bulky to carry around and maneuver over here if I don't need it to remove them. I need to wash this thing when I get done. Not sure if I'll have time this morning or not. It's supposed to rain Monday anyways. This one's still runnable. So I'm going to match it up with the other side. We're going to replace this one here. This was the worst of the 2 steer tires that I put on there about 10,000 miles ago when I replaced the one that the sidewall blew out on me. Luckily it was just a sidewall, and the tire didn't disintegrate or anything. It was right here. And I just stuck those 2 steer tires on there. Get me by there. See, this one here is the one that's wore down on the inside like that. It was better than that 10,000 miles ago, but she's ready to be replaced now. And it's also got a nail in it right there. I noticed the other day it was low. I had to add a little air to it, but it's not worth fixing. We're going to replace it. We'll pull our valve core out of this one here and try not to lose it. Let the air come out of it, and we can get her ready to put the new one on there. Everybody's got a little different way of doing this. Some people like the duckbill hammers and stuff. I just use the regular 12-pound sledgehammer. Usually if you hit it pretty solid there one time, once or twice, they'll come off of there pretty good. Every now and again you have one, if it hasn't been changed in a long time, it's got a bunch of stuff built up in there you'll have problems with, but I usually don't have too much trouble with them. And I usually like to spray some soapy water around here to make them come off better. I don't have none handy. I'm just going to squirt a little bit of PB Blaster on it. That'll help out a little bit. And just like that. Same thing here. It's a whole lot easier to get that rubber to slide over if you've got a little bit of something on it. Everybody likes to do things a little bit different. That's what works pretty good for me usually. I need some bigger bars. I bought these years ago at Tractor Supply. I was in a bind, needed some. It's all I could get my hands on. And of course, one of the things you don't really think about until the next time you're doing this. So I just never bothered to pick up any more. But these work, they do the job. These Firestones are 16 ply, and I run on my steers, so they're a little stiffer than your normal tire. Get back up over there again. Okay, we'll use that one. We got that one. I'm already sweating. I've been out here 30 minutes. These tires that I picked up here are made by Blackhawk. They are a BFR 55. I've never heard of them, but they were on sale. And so that's what I picked up. I usually get the cheapest thing that I can. That's an all-purpose tire to run on these spread axles. That's what I've had decent success with. They last a decently long time. And you're constantly running over nails and stuff, going in and out of building yards and whatnot. So hate to put anything super expensive on there and then destroy it. Get a little tire soak on it. Side one. All we gotta do is get this other side on there. All right, we're gonna see if this thing will air up and get seated here without having to use the beat blaster. I think it is. I don't even have a valve pour in it yet. We'll put a valve pour back in there. I don't have a tire cage, so what I generally do is I'll put it back up on the trailer or truck or whatever and put just a couple of lug nuts on it there. That way, if this thing were to fail, being aired up, that those will retain it from flying across the shop and knocking you out. Kind of use these bars to assist in picking the tire up and getting it back on the studs there. Good enough. Again, that's just to retain that, so when it airs up, if something were to happen and it blow out, even though it's a new tire, hopefully we'll still have our head. That one I was telling you about, the head right here, that I run over something in the road, I guess, and had a flat and didn't realize it. And when I was airing it up that day, I had clipped my air chuck. I have one that attaches to my glad hands up there for my truck. And I had rolled my hose out and attached it, clipped it on like that right there, and walked back to the truck to get my air gauge. And I was about halfway back down the trailer when that thing blew out. And it sounded like a shotgun. It about scared the bejesus out of me. I'm glad I wasn't standing right there in front of it. So I'm gonna back up, let that thing air up and do its thing. And then I'll come back and check it in a little bit. And we'll mount the other one on there, our other new tire on our other wheel, and put it on there to match it. These lug nuts on this side here is giving me a little bit of trouble. I'm not sure if I've ever had this side off or not. I can't remember. Seems like I may have had to fix a flat on this side, but I honestly can't remember. They may have not ever been off. overheated. That thing's about gone and on there. I think I might have to get the 1 inch out. Alright, I'm going to try my 1/2 inch snap-on first. This socket's hot. Well, I got that one off. I've got a 3/4 inch snap-on like this as well, but it's broke. It's never been any good since I bought it brand new. The thing's been broke like 3 times. I finally left the thing broke. It's never been any good. There's no minimum usage on it. This one here I've used a lot. I've never had any problem with the 1/2 inch version. I've got a 3/8 version as well, and I've actually had 2 of those. The first one was replaced under warranty, but it did get real heavy usage, and then I've not really had any problems out of it, you know, for the amount of usage that it's had. But the 3/4 inch version I bought was just junk from day one. These things are trying to gall it up like that. I don't think they've ever been off. Pretty good for a 1/2 inch impact with an adapter on it. Yeah, I'm using a 1/2 inch hose with a big air fit. Everything looks okay with these subs. I'm going to put some anti-seize on them, and that way I won't have that issue again. and I'll run the nuts back and forth on them to get them freed up so we can get a proper torque on them. If you can't get a proper torque on them with them seized up. Alright guys, so my GoPro battery went dead and I had to go cool off, but I've got these studs here chasing everything to where they're smooth. That's important. You can't have a stud that's gauted up, you know, where you can't get a good torque on it, because what will happen is you'll think that it's torqued to the right value, but reality is the threads will be gauted and the tire and wheel will move and it'll break all your studs off, and then your tires and wheels will separate and could seriously injure or possibly kill someone. So you definitely don't want that to happen. So as I say, I put anti-seize on them and got the threads chased and run the nuts back and forth on them here so that I could get them freed up so that they can be turned by hand, and getting ready to put the other tire back on here and get it torqued down and everything. I've already mounted my other tire over there and got it aired up and everything on the other side. I'm going to pull this off and wipe this excess anti-seize off of this just to keep it from making a big mess. That's something else when you mess with these. You want to make sure you don't have any grit or grime or anything stuck in between your wheels, because that can affect your torque values as well whenever you go to tighten this up. So this right here is not absolutely required. It's more or less just to keep corrosion from building up between the wheels and the dissimilar metals. The salt and stuff or whatever, if you run up north, will get on the aluminum in between here and corrode it up, and I think this is kind of supposed to help with that. My old trailer never had them on there. Somebody took them off and chunked them, but I bought this trailer new, and like I say, I haven't even had all the tires and wheels off of it yet, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep that on there for the time being. Alright, so I'm putting a little bit more anti-seize on there just to keep those things from galling up again and being an issue the next time when I get ready to take these off. And I think our 3/4 inch Milwaukee impact wrench, the battery's cooled off on it, so I'm going to use it just to run these up, and then I will come back and torque them. Just want to make sure that get all of them to run up good and they all turn freely and everything. So we get a good torque value on them. And these torque to 500 foot-pounds. Gotta make sure I get it up there square. Alright, we'll run them up and then I will come back and check them with a torque wrench in a bit. Alright guys, I've got those on there and properly torqued down. I got the new ones on the other side. I'm going to go ahead and order 2 new ones for this side as well. The ones up here, as I say, still have pretty decent tread on them. They'll likely be good for at least another 20,000 or better. So evidently the back axle is the one that drags more, being the spread axle on your turns and stuff, because the front ones seem to last a little longer. You could rotate them front to back to where you could get about the same amount of mileage out of them or whatever, but it's a lot of work to move them around. And then of course you got to buy all of them at one time. So I'll show you these new ones mounted over here. And I got one more thing that I want to do before I let my jack down. I'm going to let the truck build up with air and release my brakes and make sure that my wheel bearings and everything are good. I mean, this trailer is brand new, as I say. It ain't got but 150,000 miles on it, but I like to keep check on that sort of stuff. And why not, while I've got it jacked up, all I got to do is release the brakes and come back here and turn this and make sure it turns freely and everything. And then I'll be done with this here and pull this thing outside. And I really need to wash this thing, but it's getting a little bit too late in the day. Before I can get done with it, it'll be too hot outside. This took a little longer than I was expecting, about 2.5 hours so far. But about 45 minutes of that I went in the house and cooled off, because it's pretty warm out here even in the morning time. And I've tried to work out here at night some during the summer, and even at 10 or 11 o'clock at night it's still hot. There's the cat. The cat's got to make a showing in the video. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this one up and release these brakes, make sure this checks out, let my jack down. We'll pull this right out of here.